Oh yeah. Oh yeah. How about that, guys? How about that? I bet you haven't seen ball juggling this cool before. Two balls at once. That's more than you can juggle, Barry. You don't even have arms, Barry. Bet you couldn't even juggle one ball, Barry. Alright, I'm gonna stop right there because I think I've already cemented myself as the best damn ball juggler this side of Mississippi. Alright, I'm sorry. I've said ball way too many times. I have the freaking comedic sense of like a 5-year-old or maybe an 8-year-old because today we're talking about O-Tama, the cute, unassuming, purple-haired girl from Amagasa Village, tucked away in a little corner of the Curry region of Wano. And she has the ability to pull dongos out of her cheek, throw them into wild animals' gullets, and then control them as if they were her loyal servants. So, therefore, we have a little girl that has the ability to literally overthrow Kaido and his control over his entire crew of wild animals, the Smile users, okay? Now, we don't actually know the name of Tama's devil fruit, but that's not really a big deal. You could probably just call it the Dango no Mi. It's probably something very similar to that. In fact, keep in mind, the people of Wano don't even know devil fruits are devil fruits. They think that people that have that ability are like sorcerers, or they have the powers of ninjutsu or something, okay? Now, granted, Tama wants to be a kunoichi when she grows up, a female ninja, so it would make sense that she has the ability of ninjutsu, but they don't actually know what devil fruits are. You could call it whatever you want, the name doesn't really matter. What matters is the effect, and we've seen the effect multiple times, okay? So Tama first appears when Luffy arrives on that beach. She was captured by Kaido's crew, thrown into a bag, and then Luffy shows up, beats the crap out of them. Tama gets freed, the Koma Inu arrives, and then Hihimaru, this giant baboon with a katana, bursts out of the freaking forest, and they start brawling in the middle of this beach. Tama takes out her cheek and just kind of squeezes it a little bit and just poop, pops off a little dango, and then she just tosses it into the mouth of the baboon, and the baboon becomes a loyal servant of her, you know, like a loyal lapdog. The baboon bows down to Tama, and whatever orders that she gives to it that, you know, the baboon is capable of fulfilling, the baboon will fulfill it. You know, like, baboon and Koma Inu, take me and my friend back to Amagasa Village. They'll do that. Of course, there are limits to, I'm assuming, what she could order the animals to do. If it's something that they just simply couldn't comprehend or understand, like, baboon, complete my advanced calculus homework. I don't think the baboon would be like, ook, and then put on some glasses, bust out a freaking calculator, and start crunching out the numbers that night, okay? I'm sure there's limits to what she could order around, but controlling wild animals is just the beginning of the brokenness of this fruit, okay? By the way, these are totally real dongos I'm holding right now. These are little dumplings. To prove it to you that they are, in fact, real dumplings and not just fake plastic golf balls, I'm going to now eat one. Actually, you know what? I don't think it's very, polite of me to eat with, I don't want people to see my mouth. I mean, that's very rude to watch me chewing, so I'm just gonna do this and just... Oh yeah, that was really delicious right there. That was a good dongo. Okay, so, no, the real brokenness of this fruit comes to the fact that she can control Smile users with these things, alright? So we all know about the Smiles. They're artificial devil fruits. The sad was created by Caesar, that green ooze goo stuff, and then you somehow take that ooze and then pump it into soil, and then a tree grows, and then the Smile fruits come off that tree. You take the fruit, you give it to somebody, and there's a 1 in 10 chance that they'll actually achieve the powers of the Smile, and they'll have the power of an artificial zone. Okay, so we've seen horse smiles, we've seen elephant smiles, we've seen bat and mouse smiles. There's a lot of different smiles in the, the beast pirates. That's why they're called the beast pirates. Now, these users don't seem to be the same as regular zones because they can't really change in between different forms. They eat the fruit, and like with Speed, she became a centaur because she had a horse smile. She ate that smile, and then like the lower half of her body turned into a horse, and she can't turn back. It seems like she's stuck like that permanently, okay? Well, when at least it comes to those Smile users, she can take a dongo and then feed it to them. A lot of times she has to forcefully feed it to them because they're not normally going to just accept it. But if she can get them to eat the dongo, then they will obey her. They still have their agency in the sense of like they still know that who they are and everything like that. Like, I am Speed. I am the, the user of the horse smile. I'm a headliner on Kaido's crew. It's just that they have to listen to O-Tama, whatever she commands. And later on, we even see this with Babanuki. Babanuki was like the chief jailer of the prison in Udon directly under Queen. This guy had like the job of taking control of this entire prison and making sure all of the criminals in Wano were locked up tight. You feed a single dongo to this giant behemoth dude, oh, What do you want me to do, master? I want you to open up all of those cages. Okay, I'll get on that right away. By the way, do you want some milk? I have some milk in the fridge. You look thirsty. I'll get you some milk. You know, turns into a little subservient little puppy dog that'll do literally anything Tama says. Even if it's like, I want you to call up your boss, Queen, and lie to his face. Okay, I'll get right on that. You know, do you want me to cry a little bit while I'm on the phone? I think if I cry a little bit, that'll make it more believable, okay? So, yeah, that's not broken hideously at all, right? Now, there are a few questions with this. The number one question we all have is, would this work on a regular Zoan user? Because it's already been clarified, this doesn't work on humans, all right? Even though humans are animals, in the context of right now in One Piece, that's not good enough, I guess. I guess we're not animalistic enough for them to affect us, okay? It has to be somebody that has the power of an animal. So, Smile users make sense, but what about regular Zoan users, all right? Now, when I was talking about this in the review a few weeks ago, I mentioned that they could try it out on Chopper as like a test, but I didn't realize that, wait, no, that would actually be the worst person to try it out on, because most Zoan users were humans to begin with, and then they ate the Zoan, and then they turned into an animal. Like Kaku, he was a human, he ate the giraffe Zoan, and he could turn into a giraffe. Chopper is one of the lone exceptions of that, because he was the animal first, and then ate the human fruit. So, giving him a Dango, even if it did work on Chopper, and Chopper became a loyal servant of O-Tama, that wouldn't clarify whether or not regular Zoan users would be affected, because he was originally a reindeer, okay? So, what you would have to do is, you would have to find a Zoan like Drake, who ate one of the, like, regular ancient Zoans. Not a Smile, just a regular ancient Zoan, and now he's an Allosaurus. Or Page 1. You'd have to give a Dango to one of those guys. Or Kaido, who apparently has the mythical dragon fruit. Give them one, and we'll see how that works. Now, I'm just gonna assume that it's not gonna be that easy. I'm gonna assume that they might actually try that. It probably makes sense that they would attempt that, because it's like, hey, you know, Tama is an 8-year-old girl. She's only had this ability for a few years tops. It makes sense why Tama would never have been given the opportunity to test this out by giving one of her Dango to, like, a Headliner or a Calamity or something. So you have Tama with everybody right now. It would make sense to take her Dangos and at least, you know, at least try to give them to Queen or Kaido to see what would happen. Who knows? Like, it's that scene in Kill Bill where it's like, you just feed a Dango to Kaido and Kaido becomes a loyal servant of Tama. And it's like, you didn't think it would be that easy, did you? Like, actually, I kinda did, yeah. It turns out it was that easy. Kaido appears over Wano like, I'm tired of everything. I'm nuking this country to the ground. Boro, bruh! And then Usopp takes one of the Dangos and just fires it right in freaking Kaido's gullet. Just, Boro, bruh! Would you like to ride on the back of my dragon body, master? Yay! You know, Tama's like, okay, she's like Goku at the end of GT, just jumps on the back of Shenron and just flies off into the distance. Kaido and O-Tama adventures, and like never-ending story cues up in the background. Never-ending story. Oh my god, I'm picturing that in my mind. I'm picturing Tama riding on the back of Kaido, but Kaido, he doesn't have like a really serious face because he's good now because he ate the Dango. Imagine like a grinning, happy Kaido as a dragon just sailing through the skies into the sunset as Tama's like, yeah! Okay, so that I think is going to be what Oda has in mind for the end of this arc. Easy. And if it isn't, it kinda should be. No, okay. So, the easy way to get around this power that would make sense would just to be saying, okay, it works on animals, and it works on Smile users because the way that Smiles are created use the essence of animals in some way. At the very least, like I said, they're different from regular Zoans because when you eat a Smile, you're stuck like that animal. You have an animal inside of you. Like Baba Nuki has an elephant head, an actual, like, sentient, aware elephant head sticking out of his chest. Alright, the elephant has the ability to look around and think for itself and take out its trunk and, like, eat by itself. The same thing with Hold'em and the lion. lion coming out of his stomach. The lion had its own personality. All right, so that's the reason why it affects them, because they're like split right down the middle, half human, half animal. All right, Zoan users, like regular Zoan users, are a little different. It's also very possible that maybe she can not control them 100%, but maybe cripple them in some way where, let's say, Queen transforms into a giant brachiosaur and they feed the Dango to Queen. While Queen stays as a brachiosaur, they'll be able to order him around. But if Queen transforms back into his regular human form, he's no longer an animal and the effect dissipates. All right, so that's another way. Maybe not taking it the full way, like absolute complete control, but you feed Kaido one of these Dangos, and Kaido can no longer use his dragon form for the rest of the arc because he'll be manipulated. Now, once again, I think that would, even like halfway there, that would still be a really broken way of using this fruit, because Kaido is like the Yonko, the big boss of Wano. Like, it's 100 Beast Kaido. If it's one-on-one, Kaido wins. Giant Oni dragon. He can breathe fire. He swings his mighty Konombo around, and all it takes to take him down is a little girl. And I know Oda is setting it up like that might be the case there, like she might be the key to this, but I really hope Oda just keeps it like her using her power to take over the minds of some of the Smile users. None of the Calamities, maybe not even any of the really high-ranking headliners or anything, but yeah, if they can get maybe a few regular gifters or just headliners on their side like they already did with Speed and they already did with Babanuki, I'd be okay with that. But if you just start using this as an end-all be-all throughout the arc, I'm sure Oda's even aware of how much of a disappointment in terms of like plot progression that would be. You know, like imagine that, like, oh man, it's Jack, he's rocking toward us, freaking Tama, Dango me, you got it, Usopp, pop. Oh no, now there's Queen! Come on, Dango! Oh, there's King! Oh, there's Kaido! Come on! Tama, keep giving me the Dangos! Keep giving me the Dangos! Freaking Usopp breaks out like a rapid fire freaking slingshot. It could fire like 6 Dangos a second, and just boom, 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 and just getting shot in everybody's hole. That sounded sexual. By the way, okay, this is another reason why everybody should learn Japanese, okay? Because you understand puns a little better, okay? Or at least references, okay? This is Tama's name in Japanese, okay? The kanji below it is Tama, which means pearl or jewel or ball. It can also mean testicle in some regards. Way to go, Oda. You made a ball joke around an 8-year-old girl. Good job, buddy. All right, so yeah, that's one reason you should learn Japanese, though, because then you understand when Oda is making puns and references to things, okay? That's the sole reason you should learn Japanese. All right, so right now, though, Tama is located in the prison in Udon, and they have that all under control right now. They kind of freed all the prisoners. They, you know, controlled the guards. I'm sure beyond even Babanuki, you had, like, Solitaire and Daifugo there. They were both Smile users. I'm sure Tama gave them, you know, the Dangos as well. Now, there are a few limitations to her fruit, just going beyond the fact that they have to be animals. Like, for example, when she fed the Dango to Speed, yeah, sure, Speed listened to everything Tama said, but it's not like that she'll immediately become docile to everybody. It's not like a complete personality shift with everyone, only Tama. So, if Luffy tries to give Speed an order, then, you know, she was just biting at him like, yo, I'm not going to listen to you, I'm going to listen to my master here, O-Tama, right? That's how that works. So, I guess it's possible Tama could, like, delegate the power off, like, somewhat. Like, Tama could be like, Speed, you will listen to everything Luffy Taro says, okay? But I think it might be kind of along the same way of how the Kage Kage no Mi works. So, the user of the Kage Kage no Mi, Moria, he creates zombies by putting shadows into their bodies, okay? And he is the supreme controller of the shadows. Anything that Moria commands a shadow to do, it will do. Now, Moria was also a slothful kind of dude, so he always divvied out responsibility. He delegated his, you know, control over these shadows to other members of the Mysterious Four, right? So, Moria basically came out and said, all the general zombies, you will obey Absalom, and Sindri, you will obey Hogback, okay? But it's not 100% of a control, because Sindri did obey Hogback, but then you had that whole moment where Chopper was holding her down, and she was beginning to not respond to Hogback's orders. I really feel like if it was Moria giving Sindri a direct order there, all of that true love bullcrap wouldn't have worked. But because it's like, okay, it's not that I'm disobeying a direct order from the master, disobeying a direct order from the guy that was given orders by the master. So it's like, how many times could you go through this before it kind of gets watered down to the point it doesn't work anymore? Like, for example, let's say, Tama tells Speed, you're gonna listen to Luffy. Whatever he says, you do, Speed. Speed, I'm sure, would agree to that. Yes, Master, I'll do that. And then Luffy's like, okay, Speed, everything that Zoro tells you to do, you have to listen to him. And then Zoro's like, everything Nami says you have to do. Like, how many times does it get diluted to the point where it's like, the effects of the fruit are not going to be as adamant? Because when it comes to Tama issuing orders, it's like no matter what the order is, they obey. Now, granted, Tama's a little girl. She hasn't gotten a little bit too grisly with the orders yet. So I'm wondering what would happen if, she threw a freaking Dango into Queen and then ordered Queen to jump off a cliff or something. Would he do it? I was like, I want you to, go and jump in that active volcano. I was like, yes, I'll do that right away if it actually could control Queen, all right? Now, maybe it could work, maybe it wouldn't. I'm not really sure in that regard. If she gives somebody an order that would directly, harm them or possibly end their lives, would they still do it? All right, that seems like another way to really easily get done with this arc, if that was possible. Pop a freaking Dango in all the Smile users' mouths, and then just like, all right, everybody, just jump into the ocean, because Devil Fruit users, even a Smile, they still can't swim. So, but yeah, I don't think O-Tama's gonna go that dark with it, because that would be kind of really messed up, right? And, we just recently got to see it in the last chapter, or one of the last chapters, but, she's a little girl, so I don't know if they're gonna want to keep her in harm's way. They're not gonna, they need her to produce the Dongos. I'm not sure how long the Dongos last after they pop out of her cheek. Like, when they're going up to fight against Kaido's army at the, Fire Festival, can they just have Tama, pop off, 100 of these Kibi Dongos and just put them in, a giant basket, and then people can, carry them around? Could Luffy pick up one and shove it into somebody's mouth? Or does it have to be Tama? Has to be the one that creates the Dango, has to be the one that gives the person the Dango. Or, if somebody else gives them the Dango, if Tama creates a Dango, gives it to Luffy, Luffy gives it to a Smile user, would that Smile user then obey Luffy? Because Luffy was the one that gave the Dango over. Also, by the way, this is a huge reference to Momotaro, and of course there's a character named Momo in Wano, of course, but the story about the kid that takes the Dango and feeds them to all the animals, the monkey, and then there's a pheasant or a phoenix, and then there's a bear, or not a bear, a wolf or a dog, and the kid feeds the Dango to all these animals, and the animals will obey him and listen to his commands. So there's the reference there, right there. I mean, there is a character named Momo, and then there's Tama, and Momo and Tama seem to be getting along here, so there you go with that. And we already recruited a dog and a monkey, so now we're just waiting on the pheasants or the phoenix, whoever, Tama enlists there. If frickin' Marco comes to the island and she gives a Dango to Marco, like, oh, hello there, sir. Are you hungry? All I have are these Dongos. And Marco's like, oh, okay, that's really nice of you, little girl. Oh, I will now obey every command you give to me. All right, so who knows? Who knows what's going to be the phoenix or the pheasant in that context there. But, all right, so I think that's pretty much the video. I don't got much else here for you. I just wanted to bring this up. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to go back to juggling here and showing up Barry. There's a while there where I tried to get really into juggling and learning how to juggle, but I'm just not that good at using 3 balls. I mean, I could try, but I just don't get it. Now, I understand the concept of juggling 3. It's just like you always have to just keep it going. I just don't know how to start that whole system. Just like, okay, so it's like how do you... I guess maybe you could start with 2, and as you're going with 2, while this is going, you throw a 3rd ball in here, because it's just, you got to keep the flow moving, but I'm just not dexterous for that. I'm sorry. All right, have a good one, everybody. Teching, signing out.